All right, everybody, welcome back to Virtual Tavern, a podcast where we talk about all things sci-fi and fantasy. This is our first official video podcast. I mean, we had the status update, but now this is our first like real time, spearheading it with the content and everything. So
yeah, it's exciting. I've been looking forward to this for a very long time. So I'm glad that we're able to like kind of interact with you guys a little bit more rather than just you listening to the two of us blab on like a bunch of fucking idiots.
Yeah, and Melanie made it very adamant that no, it was my idea. I told you guys to do that in the first place. So I got to give Melanie the full credit here. Otherwise, I sleep in the doghouse. So Melanie, thank you for the idea of doing a video podcast.
Well, I mean, see, you have to give Melanie credit. I have to give Kaellen credit because Kaellen suggested this a while back when we started adding the little clips into the episodes.
A while.
So, Kaellen, thanks for the idea.
Yes.
You and Melanie were synced, even though have they ever met?
No, they have not.
Somehow you two are on the same wavelength, and it's intriguing.
But as we said, it's going to take a while for us to get our cyberpunk content going. But in the meantime, you can enjoy us on Fantasy Friday. We are starting our journey of the Lord of the Rings, the Two Towers.
This one doesn't involve a plane.
But yes, we are covering the Lord of the Rings, the Two Towers extended edition on HBO Max, just because it's easier. I have the fucking extended editions over there on the shelf, but I can't exactly pop a DVD into my computer or anything. So
yeah,
without an external drive. But we are starting from the very beginning. Last we left off was what was it? The death of Boromir.
Yep.
The Fellowship of the Ring, the death of Boromir. Gandalf died not too long ago. Frodo and Sam went off on their own, and Legolas, Gimli, and Aragorn are chasing after the Uruk-hai that captured Merry and Pippin.
Yeah, and Sam and Frodo are doing their thing in a boat.
Yeah. Well, no, they got to the big rocky cliffs.
Oh, that's right.
And they had that one last scene where they looked over the mountains and said, "It seems so far away, you know. You think we'll ever see the others again?" "I think so, Mr. Frodo. I think so." But yeah, we are starting our coverage of the Two Towers. But before we get to that, we have our house cleaning shit. So first off, our emails. If you would like to email us, our email is contactvirtualtavern@gmail.com. We do have an email this week, and I'm pretty excited about it. It is from none other than Kaellen. So Kaellen, subject line, "Sorry to have keep you waiting. Firstly, it's very, very fucking..." She's being sarcastic here. "Firstly, my most sincere apologies for
I can hear it in her voice too.
My most sincere apologies for keeping you in the suspense. I'm a busy woman, you see, and I find myself falling behind on my content consumption. That being said, I simply cannot be so cruel as to ignore something so sad as two grown men crying and begging for an email. So since you are currently on Lord of the Rings, here's a fun little question for you. What's a fond or funny memory either of you have that involves Lord of the Rings in some way?" A fond or funny memory. Now, I actually got to think about that for a second.
Yeah.
Oof.
Fuck, dude. I don't know. I mean, I guess for me, like, it's funny in the sense that it's more like, I guess, kind of ironic for me now because, like I said when we started our coverage on this, I was 100% against it every time you and our third party would put it on.
Ironic.
I just immediately go to bed, and now, like, I love this series as a whole, and not counting the Rings of Power. We don't mention that.
We don't talk about that. No.
But honestly, like, probably, I guess my most fond memory of it would have been when we first watched The Hobbit all together.
Oh yeah, we did, huh?
Yeah. I think you guys might have seen it in theaters, but for me, it was my first viewing of it. Because I'd gotten off work that night, brought the DVD over to Dipshit's house, and we did our usual thing of Mountain Dew, fucking Sour Patch watermelon, and just stayed up all fucking night.
For me, I guess the only one that I can think of is when we used to have our all-nighters and everything. We would knock on our old friend's door, and he would be like, "No, thank you. We don't want any more visitors, well-wishers, or distant relations." And then we would retort, "Well, what about very old friends?" So
Fuck, dude, I forgot about that.
Yeah, we would knock on their door, and we would do that whole little scene. "No, thank you."
Dude, do you remember when we used to fucking like just kind of be kids and go and fucking LARP and shit out of the park?
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, it was a little sad. I used to have lightsabers, and we fucking sparred.
Yeah. Dude, remember the fucking night that the cop rolled up and they just sat there and watched us for like 15 minutes?
Yeah, he's like, "What are you guys doing?" "Oh, we're LARPing." "Okay, I'm gonna watch." "Oh, okay." We're like fucking 15 years old.
Dude, I felt so bad that night because Asia was there with us, and I smacked the fuck out of her fingers.
You were just looking for an excuse to get some domestic violence in. You're like, "My time has come."
I feel it. The alcoholism. It's coming out.
Something's happening to me. The Hennessy is taking over. But yeah, that covers our email. Thank you, Kaylin, for the email. If you would like to send us an email, we'll always read it on the podcast as long as it's somewhat intelligent and doesn't contain just raw hate speech, I guess.
Well, I don't know. Even like, yeah, it would kind of depend on the verbiage of it. But if you guys feel like sending us fucking hate mail, do it. I'll read it. I don't give a fuck.
No, hate mail is fine. Hate speech. I mean, like, if you're like just racial slurs over and over again, I'm not gonna fucking read that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if they have negative comments or whatever, that's fine. If it's just fucking like dropping fucking like you said, the racial slurs and stuff, that's a little different.
Yeah.
We save that for Xbox.
Well, anyway, that covers our emails. As far as our plugs go, we do like to do a little 5-minute plugs. You know, it's very quick. Just want to get out our socials and everything. So we do have a YouTube channel. Go subscribe to that. It's where we publish YouTube shorts. And it's also a way for you to stay connected with our community. We're slowly building a community together. And if you want updates on, let's say we're not going to make an episode, you know, like right now, we're kind of in a position of change and lots of things in motion, lots of things fluid right now. So if we fluid. So if we're gonna miss I can't do that. So if we're gonna miss an upload, that's where I'll be posting and letting you guys know. So go subscribe to our YouTube. Lots of YouTube shorts on there. We had lots of growth last time on our YouTube shorts. That was pretty cool. So keep it up.
So about us kind of having to take a hiatus from Cyberpunk, I did get our theme mixed and everything. Adam's just got to do his little touch with it. So I'm hoping maybe next week we can get an episode out. I'll be off Tuesday to Friday, so hopefully we can try to find some time to record in there.
If you're waiting for Cyberpunk, it is on the way.
Yeah, we're just about ready, guys.
It's like George R.R. Martin. The dragons are coming. They're going to be awesome. But anyway, we're also on TikTok, virtual_tavern_podcast. It's the same exact thing. So if you like TikTok, go subscribe over there.
Yep.
Other than that, we don't have a talking point recap this time because this is our first episode of Lord of the Rings, but next time we will have a talking point recap.
I'm curious, have we had any change in our Spotify analytics since our last upload?
No new countries, but we do have a solid listenership every week. Like every week there's, you know, quite a good amount of people tuning in, which is awesome. Thank you guys.
Yeah, I was wondering if when we added that video aspect to it, if it kind of changed anything, if there was any like flux in it.
It's a little too soon to tell.
Gotcha.
But one last thing before we get, I know we're like almost 10 minutes in, but one last thing to show you guys before we get into our Lord of the Rings coverage. I did want to show this off. Stop it. So I went and had our artwork. I don't know if you can see it very well. I went and had our artwork printed for our podcast. So we're going to be hanging that up here in the studio. It'll be pretty cool. And Hunter, show that one.
I don't know how well you can see it, but...
Oh, they lower it down a little bit? Right. Well, I mean, Melanie's face is covered by the mic, but that's okay. But you get the gist of it. We printed off some fan art, so thank you, Kaylin, for that again. That was made by Kaylin, and we're printing it and putting it up here in the studio. So thank you guys for that. You know, that was the artist that we commissioned and Kalen sending in the fan art. So
Seriously, the quality of that shit is so fucking good. It's thick.
it's dummy thick.
thick.
But yeah, we're going to be putting up some fan art and, you know, channel art here in the podcast studio. So it's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah. So, you know, if you guys have any sort of artistic abilities and feel like sending some fan art, you very well could also be added to the studio.
Yes. Send fan art and we will print it and put it here in the studio.
But, and you know what? If you have any, oh God, what the hell do they call it when they write fucking erotic bullshit?
Rule 34 content? Deviant art?
Well, I'm thinking like the fucking stories they make, like
fan fiction?
I guess, yeah.
I'm running out of things to say.
No, I'm trying to fucking think of what the hell it's called. Where they like fucking they ship people together and then make it to where it's all like weird and sexual and shit.
Oh, shipping.
Oh, well, then yeah. If you have any ship art for us, that's what I was trying to fucking word. Go for it.
Are you saying you want people to ship us together? That's fucking weird.
No, but I'm trying to just fucking make it like, because with, you know, there are people who have only certain aspects
of
things that they can really like tap into.
I'm not going to ask the porn art community to start doing fan art of us. We're going to the Lord of the Rings now. All right, we're done with all of our plugs. We're done with all of our preface bullshit and our house cleaning stuff. Let's go ahead and get right on into what you came here for. So we are covering the Lord of the Rings, the Two Towers. Now, as we said, as we left off last time, the Fellowship is broken, right?
Yeah.
So we have like, I think 3 different journeys. No, it's just Frodo and Sam. Well, I guess technically 3, but Frodo, Sam, and Legolas, Aragorn, and Gimli are off doing their own thing, and Merry and Pippin are captured by the Uruk-hai.
Yeah.
So 3 different directions, 3 different, you know, groups of people.
Yeah.
Boromir died last episode. Very sad, you know, and they put him in the casket, you know, not really casket, the boat.
Yeah.
Makeshift casket goes down the waterfall and everything. So, but anyway, this movie opens up. I love this intro, man. You just see these overhead shots of like, I think the Misty Mountains. Yeah, they're the Misty Mountains, and you hear like echoing in the distance. And as the wide shot gets closer and closer, you go into the mountains, and we're taken right back to the fight between Gandalf and the Balrog. It's a very awesome scene, and it takes us right back to that moment, and like as if they couldn't pull on our heartstrings anymore.
Yeah, they want to fucking start it with, you know, tears in your eyes and your heart just throbbing from pain.
Yeah, it's like, please don't,
please,
my heart,
please don't.
I can't do this again. But as we know, Gandalf was fighting the Balrog. The Balrog is like this ancient demon, you know, of the ancient world and everything. Very powerful being, more powerful than Gandalf. And Gandalf put up a great fight, but ultimately the bridge collapsed. The Balrog sucked him in with the whip. And they both fall into despair. And that's when we talked about what were they? The unknowable things? The unspeakable things? I can't remember what I called them.
I think they were the unknowable, something like that. I can't fucking remember now.
The unknowable things. That's when we talked about that. So Gandalf had to deal with these Lovecraftian Cthulhu level monsters down there.
I do not wish to speak of them.
Like, I don't want to talk about it.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
What do we do?
Everything was dark and moist. I didn't like it.
Oh God. But in this version of the fight, we actually get to see Gandalf and the Balrog fight as they're plummeting down.
Yeah.
And Gandalf, he fucking tackles the Balrog. He's like, "Hurk!" And you see the sword having these impacts on the Balrog. Like, you can see as he's cutting into him and everything, the Balrog wreathes with pain.
Yeah, what's kind of cool too is that you see all these sparks and things start flying off of him, and when he like stabs him, fucking fire just shoots out of the hole.
Yeah.
Like,
so like even his blood is fire.
Yeah.
That's kind of a cool little detail.
Yeah, like they did a really good job with this fight. Because again, this was back when, you know, CGI was still fucking like newish.
Yeah.
So honestly, this fucking beats most of the shit that comes out nowadays, because now everything just looks so fake and cartoony.
Yeah. I'm thinking of you, Thor, the fucking what was it?
Love and Thunder.
Love and Thunder. The horrible CGI in that film. She-Hulk. Most Marvel projects now, dude.
I know.
Like, they have like 3 times the CGI budget, and they still fail.
Yeah. fucking, you'll never be able to beat practical effects. Like it just makes the film feel so much more real because it's fucking real. It's not just some digital bullshit.
Yeah. So we get a shot of Gandalf and the Balrog. They're falling into an abyss. The cave opens up, a big miles long, fucking opening, and there's water at the bottom. And as soon as Gandalf hits the fucking water with the Balrog, that's when Frodo wakes up. It turns out it was a nightmare.
Yeah.
But that's probably more or less what actually happened between the fight. I can't talk right now.
You alright there, bud?
Hard reboot, Control-Alt-Delete. Open Task Manager, restart brain.
I can just see the buffering symbol over your forehead.
Okay, let me open up my BIOS and see if I can change some shit. But turns out it was a nightmare with Frodo and everything. And Frodo and Sam, I forget the exact location of where they're at, but they're these jagged, rocky mountains. Like everywhere is these sharp fucking rocks.
Yeah.
And it's very treacherous to like pass through and everything. And there's an extended scene where Frodo and Sam are climbing down a mountain with the Elvish rope. And it's pretty funny. What was it? Frodo gets toward the bottom and he falls. And there's fog on the bottom. So you think Frodo fucking like fell 100 feet, but it's like 3 feet.
Yeah.
He's like, I think I found the bottom. And Sam, I think he drops something from his pouch while he's climbing the rope. And it turns out to be like this little tiny chest, little wooden chest.
Yeah.
Frodo opens it up. He's like, what was all this about? And he opens it up. It turns out to be salt, a little bit of salt and seasoning. And Sam's like, you never know when we might have a roast chicken. Roast chicken? Frodo's like, you risked your life for this? Roast chicken.
Look at all those chickens.
Look at all those chickens. There's another funny moment where Sam is like, oh, I really wish I could have kept that rope. Lady Galadriel gave it to me. And Sam's like, it's one of my knots. It won't come away in a hurry. Gives it one tug, and the whole fucking thing just unravels.
It's like, we could have died.
We could have fucking died.
I almost died.
But I'm wondering if it actually was a really well tied knot, but because it's Elvish rope, it came apart with just a soft tug.
Maybe.
Like it's almost slightly enchanted to where if you just slightly tug on it, the rope, I don't know, kind of knows like, all right, come apart now.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that would kind of make sense because it would explain how it was able to fucking hold their weight the whole way down. But as soon as he just goes, tick, it fucking undoes itself.
That's the only theory I can think of because all the other stuff that they get from the elves are enchanted too.
Yeah.
The robes we'll see in this movie, actually. When they try to hide from the people at the Black Gate, it creates like the texture of the rock and kind of camouflages them.
Yeah.
So the robes are enchanted. They just don't do a well job of explaining that. So I'm thinking maybe the rope is too.
Yeah. We're
spending too much time talking about fucking rope. But what was it? Yeah, so Frodo, they're climbing up on a preface and everything. Frodo looks into the horizon where you can see Mount Doom and all the mountains in the background of Mordor. It's all volcano-y and red and ashy. And he kind of like sees the eye and he freaks out. And as he gets closer to Mordor, he can kind of feel the presence of Sauron more and more.
Yeah. You could see Sauron's whispering eye.
Okay. But they also camp out for the night, or they're getting ready to camp out. And Frodo and Sam are going through their food. They're like, what food have we got left? Oh, let me take a look. What do we have? Lambless bread. And look, more fucking lambless bread.
We got bread on bread, my son.
Lambus bread. And look. More lambus bread.
Endless lambless bread.
Yeah.
But, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, while they're all kind of just huddled up against the side of the mountain, we see a familiar hand crawling towards them from up above.
Oh yeah, let's not forget that Gollum has been following them ever since they left Moria.
Yeah, like he's got a fucking homing beacon for that goddamn ring. He's got a fucking hard on for us. Now he's just got to go snag it.
I want my cockling back. I know you have it. Give it to me.
It was perfect fixes.
Oh my god. It was one of a kind.
Custom made.
Oh god. But Frodo and Sam, they know they're being followed, right? And they plan this like a little sneak attack on Gollum. Frodo and Sam, they both lie down, playing possum and everything like they're sleeping.
Yeah.
And Gollum is slowly creeping down the side of a cliff. I'm like, how is he defying gravity like fucking Spider-Man right now? He's like pulling the Sam Raimi like fucking when he's starting to climb walls for the first time.
Yep.
Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, like dun dun dun. He's pulling that right now. Like, how is he defying gravity right now?
Because the ring gave him powers.
Oh, the ring gave him Spider-Man powers.
Yeah.
But he's crawling down the side of this rock face and everything. No climb gear, no nothing.
Yeah.
And they grab him he's like, dirty, tricksy thieves. Goes to grab him, and the hobbits fucking grab him in response. And they're fighting him and everything. And Gollum tackles Frodo, almost gets the ring. I think he actually touches it just a tiny bit.
Yeah.
And Sam grabs Gollum in response. And this always weirded me out, man. Like, Gollum full on takes a chunk out of Sam.
Yeah.
Just like, holy shit.
Fucking zombie.
I know, that always weirded me out as a kid. I'm like, is he going to like turn into Gollum now?
Right.
Because I didn't understand what Gollum was. I'm like, is he going to turn into that now? Like zombie rules or whatever?
Right.
And Frodo is able to get the jump on him and everything. He pulls out his sword and he's like, this is Sting. You've seen it before, haven't you? And Gollum. And release him or I'll cut your throat. It's like one of the only times that Frodo actually uses his sword in a smart way.
I know. And like, he could have prevented a lot of problems if he would have just fucking said, screw it, and plunged that bitch right underneath his fucking chin.
I know. I mean, why keep him alive?
Yeah.
But that goes with what Gandalf was teaching him in the Mines of Moria too. A little bit of morality.
Yeah.
Like, Frodo in the Mines of Moria was telling Gandalf, it's a pity Bilbo didn't kill him when he had the chance. And, I think what Gandalf said to him resonated with him. That's why he didn't just kill him right away.
Yeah.
Gandalf said, it's pity that stayed Bilbo's hand. Do not be so quickly to deal out life and death. Even the very wise cannot see all ends,
Yeah.
Some that live deserve death, some that die deserve life. Can you give it to them, Frodo? And I love that, it's like, all right, even the very wise cannot see all ends. Like, even though you've done evil things or bad things in your life, that doesn't mean that you're limited to that for the rest of your life.
Yeah, it doesn't make you like inherently evil. Like, you can still change your ways.
Yeah, there's people that rob stores, people that have violent crimes that do turn their life around, and then there's people that, die that, never broke a single law in their life.
Yeah.
There's a lot of injustice in the world. Can you dish that out? Can you be judge, jury, and executioner? It's like Frodo Baggins is a fucking judge from Judge Dredd. I am the law. But they capture Smeagol. They capture, what was it? Gollum. Excuse me, got a little nasal thing going on. They capture Gollum and they wrap the elvish rope around him and they keep him like a little chain gang slave,
Yep.
Just wrap him around and keep him as like, I don't know why they either don't have the guts to kill him right now, but they can't just let him go.
Yeah.
So, but then they discover after a little line of questioning, like, can you lead us to Mordor? Yes. And, back and forth. You've been there before. Yes. You will take us to the Black Gate. And then that's when he fucks off and everything. Frodo takes off the rope. And there's a cool little scene. As he's getting toted around by Sam, he's like, it burns, it freezes. Nasty elves twisted it. Take it off us.
I fucking love that scene, dude, because it's ridiculous.
Yeah. So it burns and it freezes.
Yeah.
I think the books actually do a better job of explaining why it irritates Gollum so well. I can't remember exactly because it's been a while since I read the books, but I think because Gollum is such like a tormented and creature of the dark, and the elvish rope is like an enchanted thing of like light and beauty, it irritates them.
Interesting. I always thought that it was him just being fucking dramatic because, he's being toted around like he's a goddamn dog.
No, it's From what I understand, it's because like the Elvis rope is like this fair, beautiful, and bright thing of good, and Smeagol's like this creature of the dark and darkness. It's like polar opposites. It's like the orcs when they step outside. You know, their skin gets irritated by the sun.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit like that.
Okay. I mean, I guess I can make sense of that.
Yeah. And there's a little extended scene where, you know, now they're following Gollum, right? He's pledged his loyalty to the ring to Frodo. And it doesn't really add much. He's just talking about how there's thousands of orcs in Mordor, you know, and the eye always watching.
Yeah.
Gollum has been to Mordor before, but when he was there, he was tortured by Sauron.
Yeah.
When they were trying to figure out where the ring was and everything. And Sam, we start seeing the seeds of distrust and doubt and just hatred for Gollum brewing that we'll see more and more as these movies progress. Like Sam does not trust Gollum at all. And from the very beginning, he's like, why don't we just kill him?
Yeah. I mean, he doesn't trust him for good reason. Like, Gollum isn't exactly the most trustworthy of creatures.
No.
He's going to try to fucking stab you in the back as soon as he can, which we see later on. I don't remember if it's in this one or the next film.
Yeah.
You know, when he has his little fucking talk with himself between the two sides. Oh, no, they're my friends. They're my friends.
There's how many friends? You're a Discord mod. You're a stinky fucking Redditor, you are.
Dirty, filthy chin beard.
Oh. I can't. I'll do that voice forever. But now we actually go to a scene where we find Merry and Pippin for the first time in this film.
Yeah.
Merry and Pippin, as we said, they were captured by the Uruk-hai last film. You know, when Boromir died, he did his damnedest to like hold off the Uruk-hai. But these are big, jacked fucking, you know, mutants, you know.
Yeah.
They're stronger than like 3 men. And of course, Lurtz got the arrow and got the surprise shot on him. It would have been nice to have that fucking shield, Boromir.
Yeah.
Tung, 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 tung. Whatever. But Merry and Pippin, they're captured by the Uruk-hai. The reason why they're not just killed and, you know, eaten by the Uruk-hai is because Saruman told the Uruk-hai, leave the halflings alive, kill all the others, because one of them carries something very important to me.
Yeah.
He knows one of the hobbits has the ring. He doesn't know which one.
Yeah.
You know, but so he's like, bring the halflings to me and unspoiled. So it's like, don't eat them.
Yeah. I don't want to have them all fucked up. I need them for interrogating.
Yeah. But they're marching and everything. There's about 100 or so Uruk-hai, and they're running through like the realm of Rohan. These are the realm of the horse lords and everything. So they're running as fast as they can, and Merry is fucked up. He has like head trauma. He has a head wound or something. I don't know when that happened.
Yeah.
But he's all hurt and everything. And Pippin is like, my friend, he needs water. Give him some grog, boys. And they pour like this dark liquid down his throat. I think it's blood.
Yeah. Like it resembles blood. Like really old blood too. It's fucking gross.
Yeah. You want some too? Then keep your mouth shut. And then we see a group of orcs meet them. And this is actually kind of cool. We get to see a little bit of like, I don't know, classism or like different relations between different types of orcs and Uruk-hai.
Yeah.
So these are orcs from Mordor that have met the Uruk-hai. The Uruk-hai are loyal to Saruman. They are fiercely loyal to Saruman.
Yeah.
And the orcs come in and they immediately, and they're smaller, more lower profile and skinnier. They immediately start trying to barge orders to the Uruk-hai. And the Uruk-hai's like, I don't take orders from stinking Mordor rats. And it's just kind of cool to see that little bit of disparity between like loyalties and everything.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense too for the Uruk-hai to be loyal to Saruman since he was the one that, you know, helped fucking create them. Like he had it to where they were able to come out the mussy.
I was about to say it, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
It's like, I birthed you from the mussy. I'm your daddy.
Yeah. Daddy.
Oh, I brought you the ring, father.
Father, don't beat me. I have the halfling.
Oh. And then we finally get to see Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli.
Yeah.
And they have been hauling ass this whole time, trying to find and follow and track these Uruk-hai. And Gimli's like, 3 days a night's pursuit. No food. No rest. No tell of our quarry except what Bear Rock can tell. He's talking about how Aragorn holds his head to the rock and he like senses the Uruk-hai.
Yeah.
He's like, we've been hauling ass because this fucking ranger holds his ear to a goddamn rock.
Somehow he can fucking hear through the earth.
Yeah. And Aragorn goes up to a little rock face. He says, some kind of evil gives speed to these creatures. And we go to a shot with Isengard. And now Isengard, which is the home of Saruman, has been completely destroyed. All the trees that we saw in the Fellowship of the Ring are gone.
Yeah, now it's a very dark and brooding place.
Yeah.
You can tell that it's just pretty much nothing but pure fucking evil there now.
Yeah, it's pretty much Chicago. Sorry if you live in Chicago. Well, no, fuck you. Your crime is high. Clean up your fucking city.
I mean, yeah, it's that or Detroit. Like, kind of fucking same there.
Yeah. But we get to see a cool scene of Saruman. He's talking about how the world will burn in the fires of industry. And Saruman, his entire realm, his entire army is like living in the Industrial Revolution. They're smelting weapons with these fucking big-ass big-ass machines. You know, like, they have hot-ass fucking smelters and kilns, and they're basically living in the Industrial Revolution age.
Yeah.
Saruman, because he's a wizard and he has such a keen intelligence, he's pushing technology forward a couple hundred years.
Yeah.
That's why in the Battle of Helm's Deep, he's able to build big-ass fucking bombs and everything.
Yeah.
He invented gunpowder.
Oh, fuck. Didn't someone try to bring fire, like, right over where they had the giant fucking barrel of it?
Yeah, that was Wormtongue.
That's fucking right.
We'll probably get to that next episode. But yeah, he holds open the flames like, how? How can fire undo stone? What kind of wizardry can burn down the wall? Put it back. Put it back. You almost just fucking killed us.
Yeah, you almost fucked up. There's a whole fucking plan.
You imagine that's how Saruman dies, is his fucking servant drops a candle into an explosive mine.
Friendly fire enabled.
Friendly kill. Team kill.
Friendly fire will not be tolerated.
Elimination. But Saruman, he's recruiting all sorts of evil to his side, right? And it's not stated in the film. Well, actually it is, but let me just preface this. He recruits the wild men of Dunland. And these are wild folk that live in the southern mountains of the Rohan realm. And I guess hundreds or thousands of years ago, Rohan like conquered these people and took their lands and drove them into the mountain. And now they want revenge. So Saruman recruits these wild people, the wild men of Dunland, and they go around burning all the villages in like the countryside.
Okay.
And this is the first time we get to see the people of Rohan. I don't know their names, but we get to see a mother and her two children trying to run from all the wild men and Uruk-hai, like combined forces.
Yeah. And it's kind of crazy just watching this sea of fucking bodies pile up over the fucking crest of the hill, because it's a massive amount of fucking people.
Yeah,
coming.
it's a small Rohan village of a couple hundred, villagers, not soldiers. And you see thousands of Uruk-hai and wild men coming over the horizon. It's like, you're fucked.
Yep.
You're dead.
D-E-D. Dead.
But we go straight to another extended scene, and we don't know this yet, but it's the king's son, Theodred, I believe. His whole company of like the royal guard or whatever, because he's the king's son, has been killed by a raiding party of Uruk-hai. And I really wish we got to see more of Theodred.
Yeah.
He's shown in like one or two scenes, but he's like bedridden and like on his deathbed the whole time. I wish we got to see a little bit of Theodred, and then he died at like Helm's Deep or something.
Yeah.
He could have had a really cool character arc. But, he's the king's son and everything. And Eomer, who's basically like the second in command of Rohan's forces. He's also Theoden, the king of Rohan's nephew, I think, or cousin.
I want to say nephew. Nephew sounds right.
Oh, yes. Okay. He sees his nephew. And he's trying to find the king's son. He finds him underneath a body, and turns out he's still barely alive. And Eomer and a few other Rohan soldiers are racing back to Edoras. Theodred, the king's son, I think he has like a stab in his like stomach or something, which is like in the medieval times, that's impossible to operate on.
Yeah, like pretty much if you get shanked in the stomach, it's pretty much guaranteed death.
It's game over.
Yeah. It's game over, man.
Game over. But they bring him back to Edoras, which is basically the capital city of the realm of Rohan. And what was it? Eowyn, who is Theodred's brother, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Eowyn, who is Theodred's sister. You know what I'm trying to say. Their brother and sister, they're siblings. And she comes and checks up on him and opens up the blanket. And as soon as she sees the wound, she's like, oh, fuck. Like, even she knows that this is a mortal wound that he's not going to recover from.
Yeah.
Which kind of sucks. But Eowyn goes to Theoden. He's this old, decrepit man. He's like, the very life of him has been sucked away. And as we'll learn later on, Saruman is using some kind of evil witchcraft to control Theoden and keep him docile.
Yeah.
And I believe Grima Wormtongue plays a big role in that. I don't know if it's like poison that he's feeding him, some kind of like wizard concoction or something.
Yeah, like some kind of potion, more or less, to make his mind more susceptible to influence or something.
Yeah, they don't really go into detail about that. I think in the books they just say he was given bad advice, but here he's like being controlled.
Yeah.
But Eowyn is like, your son is badly wounded, my lord. He was ambushed by orcs. That's when Éomer brings in the helmet. Orcs bearing the white hand of Saruman. And Grima Wormtongue, who is the slimy fucking guy we were just talking about who almost kills Saruman.
Yep.
Man, this actor does a really well job. He just looks slimy and gross and sweaty.
Yeah.
He looks fucking deceiving.
Yeah,
like,
he looks like a fucking snake. Like someone that's obviously going to fucking betray you no matter what side you're on.
Yeah, he portrays that image of a snake very well. You know, someone that's going to be very conniving, like Game of Thrones level fucking deceit.
Yeah.
He's like, why do you lay these troubles on an already troubled mind? Can you not see? I can't. Your uncle is wearied by your malcontent, your warmongering. And Éomer's like, warmongering? All right, motherfucker. And he drops his shit and goes and tackles and puts him up against the wall. Too long have you pondered my sister, because he's sneaking glances at his sister all the time.
Yeah.
And oh no, I got that wrong. Theodred is their cousin, and Éomer and Eowyn are brother and sister. I got that mixed up. Okay.
I'm just going to trust you on that one.
Yes.
Because I can't remember now.
Too long have you pondered my sister. Too long have you followed her steps. And it turns out two guards come up and grab Éomer. And there's a small extended scene here where Wormtongue says, you see much, Éomer, son of Éomen, too much. You are now banished forthwith from the kingdom of Rohan under pain of death. And the extended scene here is, you have no authority. You are not the king. Oh, but this command does not come from me. It comes from the king. He signed it this morning. And on this contract, there's just tiny little scribbles everywhere.
Yep.
It's like he just held his hand like, all right, grandpa, time to sign the deed to the house away.
Well, dude, like even like the fucking like main portion of it, you see like one letter or two letters and it's just fucking nothing there. And then a big ass fucking stamp.
Yep. But I think this is probably a good point to stop for now. We are about 30-ish minutes into the film. Yeah, this is probably a good point to stop. So Éomer gets captured by the people of Rohan, you know, the traders and everything. And what was it? The next scene, it goes right into Merry and Pippin, where they're still captured by the Uruk-hai.
Yeah.
But this catapults us off into a whole new section of the film. So I think right here is probably a good point to stop. We're about 40 minutes in. That's fine.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's a banger of an intro. You know, it's a lot of world building and setup, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of a lot like the first movie where they do a lot of work with just trying to get the scene set for the film. But I mean, that's kind of to be expected because now everyone's in their own fucking like plot, I guess.
Yes.
Like everyone has their own fucking storyline.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which is kind of cool. Like they were able to fucking have it to where it was one big one and then it deviated into multiples. That way you weren't just following the same the same story all the way through it.
Yeah, the Fellowship of the Ring was very much a linear experience.
Yeah.
This is the movie where we have 3 different protagonists, pretty much.
Yeah.
Or 3 different like plots. It's almost like Game of Thrones, right? Where there's multiple plot threads that split off, and in the final movie they come back together.
Yeah.
You know, which I think makes it a lot more interesting, you know.
Yeah, I like the fact that we're able to kind of mix it up through the film as we go. Like, we're gonna check in on them. Oh, now we're gonna check over here. Ooh, you thought we were done? Now we're gonna go over here.
Yeah.
Ooh. Get in the way.
But they do it naturally. I never feel like in these movies like, oh, what the fuck? You're doing a jump cut away from this part in the movie, right? They do it naturally.
Yeah, like they get it to just the right spot to be able to switch over to where you can see what's going on with everybody else.
Yeah. There's a lot of go ahead.
I was gonna say it's just a lot of really good storytelling, and it was just really well written, both from Tolkien, you know, being able to tell the multiple storylines, and Peter Jackson being able to really like bring that vision to life.
Yeah, without making the audience feel tired or feel like their time's being wasted.
Exactly.
You know, whenever the scene transitions from one protagonist, like it's following Frodo and Sam, to, I don't know, going to Aragorn, Gimli, and Legolas, I don't feel like it's jarring.
Yeah.
Because it flows naturally with the story.
Exactly.
There's too many shows or movies where they cut away just when things are getting interesting.
Yeah.
And it pisses you the fuck off. It's like, what are you doing? And then it goes to a subplot that you don't care about. So then you're tuned out. The part that you want to watch, they jump cut away from it and they go to a subplot you don't give a shit about, and it takes you out of the film.
Like, I don't know, a group of protagonists that happen to go to a casino planet and save a bunch of fucking horses.
Oh my god! Fucking yeah! What was it? The Last Jedi?
Last Jedi.
That
Yeah.
entire cutaway plot subplot, you turn your brain off for the what was it? Canto Bight?
I
The
think so.
casino?
Yeah. And like, there was literally no fucking point to it.
Yeah.
Because the dude ends up fucking betraying them, and I think he gets killed like shortly after. Anyways,
Yeah.
like they got nothing out of it.
Yeah. Oh God, you made me remember that movie.
But yeah, like, but I mean, it's a perfect example of having a subplot or a cutaway to something that, you know, was jarring and didn't really need to be there. Unlike what happens here, where every time they jump, it just feels very fluid and everything goes smoothly.
It's not jarring. You're still engaged because all the plots are interesting.
Yeah.
You know, it's like seasons 1 through 4 of Game of Thrones level writing. Like, I never watched Game of Thrones, but I hear you guys talking about it, like all the different subplots, they're all engaging and they're all interesting. So when they cut away from one character and go to another for a few scenes or an episode,
Yeah.
you're still hooked. You're still engaged. You know, that's what I love about these films is there's like 3, sometimes 4 different protagonist point of views, and you're still engaged.
Yeah.
It still moves the plot forward. You're still entertained. But
Are you not entertained?
are you not entertained? But I don't really have anything else to. That's like my go-to saying now. I don't really
know.
have anything else to say.
Anyway, I think this should be the end of the episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got anything else to say? No. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Bye.
I don't have anything else to share.
It's the same fucking thing. It's semantics.
I know. But do you have anything else you want to mention or cover about this section, Hunter, or the Two Towers in general? The intro?
You know, I do feel like as far as the intro to this movie, it honestly might be my favorite, just having that cutaway scene to the nightmare about Gandalf fighting the Balrog.
Oh, the intro was so good.
I know, dude. Like, immediately fucking pulls you and he's like, dude, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah. Like, even if you hadn't watched the first one, that first 3 minutes of recapping you on what happened,
Yeah.
it pulls you in like, holy fuck, who's this old man fighting a giant winged demon?
Dude, how are they flying?
They fly now?
They fly now.
Oh my God.
But yeah, no, I think that the intro was really well done, and like I said, it's easily my favorite out of the 3 for the start of the movie.
I have an interesting question to propose to you. Which one is your favorite, actually, out of all the 3 films?
Ooh.
Since you kind of brought that up a little bit.
That's a fucking hard choice, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I
I know it's hard. It's like choosing your favorite kid.
know. Well, I mean, I just got to choose sock A or sock B, but
You disgust me.
I would probably say Return of the King.
Just because it has everything.
Yeah, and we get to see Aragorn kind of really step into his
Yeah.
natural born leader role. So
Yeah.
and we get to see a bunch of really cool shit, like the Army of the Dead and all that.
Yeah.
So I would say Return of the King would be mine.
Yeah. I think that's one of mine. That's fine too. Because it just has everything. It has adventure, it has big battle armies, it has emotion,
Yeah,
Well,
and we get closure.
we get closure.
Robert Closure.
Well, anyway, this has been the first installment of The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers Extendo Cock Edition. Join us next Fantasy Friday, hopefully, if nothing goes wrong. And we will cover the next 20 or so minutes where Merry and Pippin escape the clutches of the Uruk-hai. They go into Fangorn Forest, and the remaining members of the Fellowship are following after them and trying to find out what's happening.
One thing that we didn't really touch on is when we first see Merry and Pippin, and there's the whole scene of them having the grog poured down their throats and shit. I can't remember which one it was, but one of them was smart enough to take off the brooch and drop it.
Oh, I think that was Pippin.
Yeah,
The first useful thing he fucking does. We did
yeah,
forget to mention that, huh?
Yeah, so he was trying to leave some kind of a breadcrumb for Aragorn and then be able to find him.
That's right. Yeah, that's when Aragorn picks it up. He says, "Not idly do the leaves of Lothlorien fall."
Yeah,
And I forget what else they say, but they may still be alive. They say something along those lines, but it gives them hope, right?
yeah, exactly. And it just came to mind, so I figured might as well touch on it since it happened this episode.
No, it's good that you did that because I completely forgot about that part. Well, anyway, this has been the first installment of The Two Towers. Catch us next Fantasy Friday. But other than that, we will catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.
Bye.